Daily grind, daily grind, daily grind, daily grind. That was, oh God, I know Bon Jovi's listening, and I'm so sorry, Bon Jovi, that I ruined that for you. That was supposed to be Living on a Prayer. Yeah, see, you didn't even know. That's how bad it was. God, tell me it's bad without telling me it's bad. Welcome to the Daily Grind. This is Luke, your host. It's not Bon Jovi. I get confused for him a lot. And on Monday, I got my guy, Uncle Buck, with me. Drew Gann, how are you, brother?
What's up? What's up? Everything's good here in North Mississippi. Ready to get another week started. No better way to start off the week than talking with you, Luke.
Yeah, I promise this isn't just small talk, but how is the weather down there in North Mississippi? Is it rainy and gross?
Not now. It has been most of the weekend though.
Yeah, I mean, man, it was like that all weekend, and I woke up and my phone was like, it's 80 degrees and pretty, and I went outside and it's not. It's still gloomy and rainy, and it was the biggest like rug pulled out from under. I was like, oh, thanks, Apple. Suck it.
I asked, we've had kind of a moderate weekend, and I asked my personal assistant Alexa what the weather was going to be today, and she was like 92 degrees and sunny, and I was like, here we go.
Not moderate, no mas. It looks like everybody, well, I say the Grizzlies had a moderate weekend, I would say. There's not really much Grizzlies news that came out this weekend, but there was a lot of Grizzlies adjacent news.
Yeah, probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, like we're not going to talk about it on the show, but like there was, I think it was Murray. John Morant had his it was a Hall of Fame day for him at Murray State.
Right,
that's a Murray State kind of thing. The NBA stuff we're gonna
you got your phone. Possibly your first actual look at the Ja2s.
Yeah, man, he looked so good. He just looked like a good ambassador just for everything. Like he just looked really well put together and like a G. I was really excited to see him.
Yeah, and the shoes looked really cool too.
And the shoes look fly.
Because I was really scared at some of those leaks that they were going to be awful.
Man, because the Ja ones were so good, good. So like every single, like every one of them are good. They're just all good. It would be really crappy if the Ja2s were just like,
yeah, awful.
It'd be real bad. There were a couple ex-Grizzlies signings. Ex-Grizzlies are RIP. The biggest one, there we go. There was the big one we're going to talk about. David Roddy was traded from the Suns to Atlanta. But the Suns also brought in Tyus Jones on a 1-year deal, worth like $3.3 million.
3.3, I think is what the number was.
3.3. And it sounds like he's going to be their starting point guard. Like, I mean, it sounds like he's just going to slip into their starting five. It sounds like he had a choice as well. You sent this to Buckets and myself that it was down. He chose less money and a starting role with Phoenix reportedly over Memphis and over Atlanta.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, first off, as far as the fit goes in Phoenix, it's perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Because I think that's a problem that you have with all of these star-studded teams is that a lot of it, and it's happened more in Phoenix than I've seen it happen anywhere, or it's just my turn, your turn, his turn, my turn, your turn, his turn, and there's no offense. It's just one-on-one ISO basketball. Everybody gets a chance to shoot. Okay. Yeah. And it never works. It never ever works. If these super teams work, somebody has to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And on that Phoenix team, no one wants to sacrifice. And so bringing in a true set the speed, set the pace, set the offense point guard, get everything going, and not looking for a shot is perfect. I mean, Tyus Jones leads the league every single year in assist to turnover ratio. He takes care of the ball, and he shoots fine when needed to. And so, I think that it's perfect for them. Just tell KD and Booker and Beal, like, listen, everybody's going to get the ball. Everybody's going to get your touches. But Tyus, we all trust this guy to get us started, okay? Mm-hmm. So let him get us started. and then we'll get into the offense.
Man, out of nowhere, the starting 6 for that Phoenix team is a lot better than I was given. I was really close to hammering the under on their win total. I think when we were talking about that last week, I thought their win total was really high. Right now, you're looking with them, and it's like you said, the fit is there. Has Kevin Durant played with a steadier point guard?
No, not a facilitator.
I mean, he's played with a better point guard, but
he's played with probably the best point guards ever. I mean, he's played with Kyrie, Westbrook, and Harden, and
yes,
I'm trying to think of who you would. I guess Steph would be the point guard in Golden State. So, but no one that's looked to set up Kevin Durant.
Yes, no one's whose primary job is there to make sure everyone else gets a bite at the apple.
Right.
If I'm Kevin Durant, I mean, I don't have any. I mean, Booker played with Chris Paul. That's probably a little different. But Kevin Durant, I don't know if he's ever played like we just went through them. These guys are better all around point guards, but they are not better set the table guys.
Right. I
agree.
agree.
And now the Phoenix's top 5. You got Tyus, you've got Booker, you've got Beal, you've got Durant, and you've got Nurkic, and then Grayson Allen as your 6th.
Coming off, I mean, that's solid. And I was hesitant. I mean, I was not ready to slam the under. Like when we did our show on Wednesday with Buckets, I was not ready to slam the over. I thought that number was pretty fair, but because we thought they underachieved last year, and I think they got almost to 50 wins, Yes. And so that was underachieving. I think with Tyus Jones, I mean, everybody stays healthy, which is a big factor when you're dealing with the core that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
If they stay healthy and if they get Olympics, Kevin Durant, they may go 82-0.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Olympic Kevin Durant later because we were giving him. I think I'll hold off. I was shoveling grave on him dirt on his grave last week.
Yeah.
What do you think about him choosing? Yeah. I think we're going the same direction. But him choosing Phoenix over Memphis.
I think that's the reason why he chose Phoenix. I mean, if you take your Grizzlies fandom off and you set it over here and you say, what is Tyus Jones good at and where is that role needed? It's not needed at Memphis.
No.
It's needed. It's wanted at Memphis. I had this talk with my kids all the time. Do you need it or do you want it? Okay. The Grizzlies want him.
Yes.
Phoenix needs him. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I think we've all had that talk from our parents at one point or another. And so, he was going to come in and it was going to be like he took a 2-year sabbatical from the Grizzlies and it's coming back into the same role. And the Grizzlies could have offered him more money. That's true. But a lot of times with role players at this time in their career that Tyus Jones is at, they're willing to take a little bit less money to go try to make a run at it. And that's the best possible situation for Tyus. Yeah. I hate it, but I would have taken, Buckets was quick to chime back. I didn't want him anyways. I would have taken Tyus Jones at $4 million. You kidding me?
At $4 million?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd be tempted to say bye to Scottie Pippen if you just run it back with Tyus Jones. It's a known commodity. We know it works.
Yeah.
And so, now it would hurt. It'd be a hard decision to make, but it's perfect for Tyus Jones. And I understand why he didn't want to come here. And he just spent 2 years at Washington. What makes you think you couldn't pay that dude $20 million a year to go to Atlanta?
No, the Atlanta, I get the Atlanta thing. Yeah, no question. Like for me, it's like Memphis and Phoenix both offer you a chance to win. So if he wants to win, he could go to either one of those. But if he wants to actually contribute to winning, like regularly, he went to the right spot. Well, so it's the best chance he's going to have.
The spot that needs him more.
Exactly. Bingo.
The Grizzlies could absolutely end up higher in the standings than Phoenix, but he's going to be doing it as a backup unless Ja gets hurt.
Not going to be playing more than 20 minutes a game, whereas he's going to be playing 30 plus in Phoenix.
Right. I'm with you.
Someone who's not going to be playing 30 plus in Atlanta. I don't know what the David Roddy. I feel bad for David Roddy. It seems like he's destined to just be bouncing around now at this point.
I mean, it feels like he's getting close to the decision of, continuing to bounce around this
or to
and hope to be the 15th person or go overseas and be a superstar and make almost the same amount of money. And, I was wrong about him, although it's kind of hard to say that, it's hard to project forward. I still feel like he's got the makeup. Always liked his mindset, Now, I don't care what kind of mindset you make. If you shoot 14% from 3 in the NBA, you're not going to stick,
No. Nope.
And he never quite figured that out. And he was never going to get the opportunity to figure that out at Phoenix.
No.
And so hopefully, if you're a Roddy fan, then you kind of hope the same for him and Zaire with the landing spots that they found. That both teams are going to be trash, get a chance to get a lot of reps, really focus on the development, and in the minutes that you get, let them be productive.
Yeah. I mean, I got to hear Roddy speak at an event in Memphis, and the kid seems that he has a little bit of a bit more wisdom beyond his years. He was really awesome to hear talk. Seems like a great dude. But yeah, I'm with you. It's like, and as someone who hammered the over on Atlanta, I would really like to see him do well in Atlanta. Yeah. But I hope him, it's like I said, I hope him and Z both have found spots that allow them to develop and allow them to get minutes to develop along other people on their timeline. That's all that you can really hope for him.
Yeah, because there's not a show that I'm a part of that is going to celebrate the failures of former Grizzlies. We want the best for at all times.
Every time, even overseas. Yeah. Like I hope Yuta Watanabe goes and becomes the MJ of Japan. That would. I
watched him a little bit. I watched him a little bit yesterday when they played Germany.
Did who won? I didn't actually see who won.
Germany won.
Germany's really good, but
Germany's good. They had both Wagner brothers. They had Daniel Tyus. I didn't see Schroeder, which is surprising because I feel like he's always on that German team, but maybe I just missed him. It was in the background.
Before we switch over to Olympics, what do you expect a Kennard deal to happen relatively soon? Now that this, do you think we can get a Kennard deal before the end of the week?
I mean, I feel hesitant to say.
I know it's been so long. I don't know.
There's been so many things, and I sent this to you and Rusty when the Tyus Jones news broke that he was that he chose Phoenix over Memphis. I was like, well, this is probably what was holding it up. But not even a week ago, I sent the same message after Zaire Williams was traded. Like, okay, now it makes all the sense in the world. Now sign him. And he didn't. So now it's just like, okay, they were just negotiating with Tyus, hoping to get the call from Tyus, and he's chose Phoenix. So now Luke will sign. Luke's going to sign.
Here, maybe he's waiting on what's his name, Mamadi Diaz. Maybe they're waiting to waive him, so they've got $2 more million.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just saying he's saying you just take your time and whatever money you've got, it's mine.
Yep. I mean, it seems like they are very slowly. I'm gonna. Well, if I can find it, where'd it go? I had it. I like this. I think Wayno's. It seems like they are doing the little bits of Memphis bookkeeping that they need to do to get ready for day one opening roster.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that Scottie Pippen Jr. is a factor in whether or not why Luke has not signed yet. Again, I don't think it's if Luke Kennard signs; it's when. Yep. And all parties are being good deal makers. They're being honest businessmen right now, and everybody's showing their cards, and they've agreed to work it out. And we've
seen pictures of Kennard in Memphis gear, like at events. Like
he's posted pictures on Instagram of his son in a Grizzlies outfit. Like he's going to sign. Now there's a lot of fringe stuff that's still happening, and Scottie Pippen Jr. is a real thing because if it were me, and Rusty disagrees with me, I feel like you just need to take care of Scottie Pippen Jr. If he's going to be your number 2, your backup point guard, he needs to be on an NBA roster and not have a limit on how many games, because by the end of the season, you're going to have to sign him anyways if he's going to take you into the playoffs.
Oh, let's put this up here.
Oh, that's some news.
That's some news. So DG thinks the Kennard contract is already signed, but not turned into the league. Interesting.
So is the purpose of that just so that you can tear it up if something else happens? Like, why not turn it into the league? Just like, okay, it's signed. we're committed to each other until maybe some more money, and then we'll choose to tear it and redo the contract. Fill in the blank with the money and sign it again.
Have you ever ripped a contract in half? I've always wanted to do that.
No, just phone books. That's the only thing I've ever ripped in half.
That got me. I was speaking of ripping things in half, Team USA. I don't know. Let's talk about Team USA beating Serbia. Did you watch the game?
So we were driving back yesterday. I caught the first half from the passenger seat, and then my wife's like, "Okay, I'm getting tired. I need you to drive." And so I caught the majority of the first half. When I turned it on, the U.S. was getting beat miserably, and I was like, "Here we go again."
Yep.
And then they immediately just went on this huge tear, and Tatum was lights out, and what Daniel means was that he was still asleep when the game was over. So and then they went on a tear. Kevin Durant went absolutely nuclear. I'm telling you, if he keeps this up, you're gonna talk about I keep saying summer league, Olympic Durant, like you talk about Olympic Melo.
Dude.
There's this lore in the Olympics, and he was absolutely incredible. And when anybody gets on a heater like that, and it's just unfair when you're talking Kevin Durant, because you can't stop him.
No.
He is the perfect archetype for an offensive basketball player.
Yep. And in a game where they were calling LeBron James Captain America, Kevin Durant was the best player on Team USA.
And listen, LeBron James, man,
God.
You can love him, you can hate him, you can only do one or the other. You can't be in the middle with LeBron. I find myself to be more pro LeBron than anti LeBron.
On this stage, I'm pro LeBron.
For 39 years old, man. I don't think we talk about it enough, or maybe it's beaten a dead horse. But it's worth noting, you just got to keep remembering, this dude is 39 years old, and he is not your stand back and shoot, 39-year-old. He's not your old head. I mean, he's the most physical basketball player on an international stage at 39 years old.
He scored our first points, man. It looked like we might be in trouble for a second there. It was 4-0, and Serbia was like, they were attacking, and then LeBron gets that steal and just dunks it, and it was just a reminder of who he is, like how he is the most physical. When he gets the ball against some of these smaller, global players, and he just drives from the basket, you really get a sense of how freaking big he is. And even more than that, you look at him on the boat, holding the flag. He was towering over seeing him on with these athletes from around the world. You're like, holy cow, that's a big man.
And I just feel like when you only watch somebody on TV, an athlete on TV, you only see them around their peers.
Yes.
If you were to see Ja Morant in person, you'd be like, dang, he's tall.
That's a tall dude.
And he's 6'3".
Yeah.
Most times he's the shortest dude on the court.
Yep.
You go and find an Anthony Davis, or heaven forbid, you bump into Victor Wembanyama's thigh at Walmart round in the corner. It's otherworldly.
Yeah. That got me.
Yeah. So
what do you think? Do you think Embiid's going to start next game?
I wouldn't put him out there.
I wouldn't either, man. 11 minutes, 4 points.
Maybe I'm just listen. I think that if you should play for the country in which you are a natural citizen, quit with the whole going up the family tree there. Now, I'm sure that does help other smaller countries, what team, Bahamas, they've got Klay Thompson, but if I'm the American coach, I'm not going to go recruit a guy who was born and raised in Cameroon, I just
don't know why you do it if it's a guy that's prone to needing to work himself into shape and prone to injury. That's the part that I don't get.
Well, he's just listen, and maybe it's just Joel Embiid for me. Maybe I should just quit with the whole American citizen thing. And it's just I'm a Joel Embiid hater because I just don't like his style of basketball. He's 7'2" James Harden. You know, Embiid is a sleeper agent for Cameroon.
Yep.
You know, he's trying to tank the U.S.
Cameroon.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's no doubt he was kind of rooting for South Sudan in that friendly.
Man, I know that even though the U.S. won, we're talking about the U.S., we didn't have an answer for the Joker, man. Every one of our centers, we just threw him out there, and he was like, Kerr was like, let's see which one of these big boys can stick. Turns out none of them did well.
And international ball is so much more physical, too.
Yeah, dude.
That, like, you're talking like, oh, you're going to let me run you over? Okay.
Cool.
So,
cool.
Yeah, there's just no stopping him. And that Serbian team has players.
Yeah, man.
You've got one of the Bogdanoviches, and you've got you got Marko Guduric, who got a 4-point play. Steph fouled on a 3,
Micic plays there.
Yeah. There was one other in the Petrusev. Wasn't he a former?
Oh yeah, he was a
high draft pick.
Yeah. It was I do think it's interesting. Wayno says up here.
Yeah. Oh, I got to say that. I thought about this yesterday. You know how many times Embiid has dodged Jokic in the regular season?
Dude, it's bad. It's hard to take Embiid seriously anymore. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's like, bro, come on, man. Like, what do you play him? Play the man. Play the man. I'm intrigued to see. I thought some of the rotations were a little strange. Yes, I'm intrigued to see what happens. I mean, I guess you just got to see what you get. I don't know.
Listen, it's not that hard. And every player on this team is good, is really good. I mean, you're talking about a game against Serbia that you won by 18 or whatever it ended up being, and you didn't play Halliburton and Jason Tatum, the reigning NBA champion Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, rotations, I don't really want to have that conversation because you should be beating everybody by 60.
Hey,
if we're talking about rotations, it's on the players.
Yep.
I mean,
it's a good point.
American excellence here, and I don't. Steve Kerr is a lot of things, but ultimately he is a player's coach. He's not going to lose that locker.
No.
I just don't. I don't see.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to lose the players. I'll question his rotations, but I don't think he loses the players.
Yeah, and rotations I don't care about. Go beat them by 60.
We should win. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more player I want to talk about in the Olympics is the best player on Spain, Santi Aldama, who went 6 for 8 from 3 and had 27 points and was the leading scorer for Spain. Played 30 minutes.
Yeah,
they still lost by 12 to is it the Boomer? Is Boomers Wayno? Boomers.
That means something different in America.
Yeah, that means something different up here, Wayno.
Yeah, Wayno was in the comments at 4:15 a.m. Central Time to talk about the Australian and how we need to trade Santi, because despite the fact that he had 27 points and 6 of 8 from 3, he was getting bodied by Jock Landale in a Spanish loss.
Man, that starting 5, I'll shout you out, Wayno. That starting 5 for Australia, man, 4 of the 5 guys are pretty dang good.
Yeah. Read it off. Just because
it's Jock Landale, Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels, Patty Mills, and who's the NK? I don't know the forward, the starting forward. Yeah, they started 3 guards: Giddey, Daniels, Mills, and then Jock Landale. Jock Landale had 20. Josh Giddey had 17, Daniels had 13, and Patty Mills had 19.
Yeah, that's a solid team.
Yeah.
I don't listen. The Olympic ball, FIBA ball, international ball. You see a ton of average NBA players go nuclear. So I do take it back a little bit. The 3-point line is a shorter distance in FIBA than it is in the NBA, but I don't care. I don't care. Santi Aldama is 6'10". He can shoot. He's crafty. He is not big. He's never going to be a bruiser on the block. It's just not his game.
No.
And he's not a defender. He can use his length at the rim in defense, but he's not a defender. But he is still 6'10", and
Big
he
boy.
can shoot, and he is crafty offensively, and he will have a spot on my Memphis Grizzlies until he starts to suck. Like
I will have him on this 15-man roster until he starts to suck, which all signs point to that not happening so far. He has continued to get better every year. Every year he's been here, he goes and plays overseas and gets better.
And Wayno, I think, is expecting me to be like, oh, Santi is now emerged into like the top 4 of the Grizzlies rotation based on this, and that's not the case. Like, I'm not elevating my expectations for Santi based on a pool play game against Australia. You know, I'm just not. And because, like I said, you see a bunch of average players. Patty Mills, who is retired from the NBA, you just told me had 19 points.
And Jock Landale had 20.
Like, you've said enough. I'm not elevating my expectations for Santi, but he's going to be in the top 7 or 8 of this team, and he deserves to be.
Yeah. I think if he's not in the top 10 of the rotation, something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to take a quick break, though. We talked a lot about it. We got more basketball. I think the women played this morning. We're going to have more basketball. We're probably going to be talking about I see you, Wayno.
Won't you come to Mississippi and you'll see what it sounds like?
We're going to talk. Good. That's good. We'll talk more international ball all week. All the Olympics are happening, and we'll be hitting them all. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we get back. We're going to talk lasagna right after this break.
Scottie Pippen Jr., man, he has looked so good this summer and made a strong case for NBA minutes.
Yeah, he's been amazing. And I think the biggest revelation to me is how well he has been on the defensive end. I have a defender. He's always getting his hands on balls. He's always in the way. He's very good at anticipating. How that translates to an NBA 82-game regular season and playoffs is different. Yes, I do agree that John Morant's your point guard. I want him playing 32 to 35 minutes a game. However, in the minutes that he's off the floor, you know, say Dez is out there or Marcus is out there, I'd still rather have Scottie Pippen Jr. facilitating and kicking to them.
I'm in your camp here, but I think that Scottie has a real role on this team. What if Dez and Marcus don't have to run one, and you can have Scottie running the point, have Dez and Marcus out on the wing, and then you've got Scottie driving where he can kick it out to Dez, or he can also shoot, can create space for our second lineup.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Tiger basketball conference schedule released today. The non-con's been released. It's going to be a tough schedule once again. Good games at the crib.
The Rice revenge game.
FAU's going to be back.
Bring it. Y'all ain't FAU no more. Y'all just
UAB's coming to Memphis, and I like that. But it's going to be a home and away, obviously. But UAB's coming back to Memphis, and I think that UAB's going to be tough. They got a good team. Again, this conference is bullshit. So,
why y'all hating on Penny though? All y'all folks in the Discord making all you getting your shit off, getting your jokes out about Penny's candles.
All the United States athletes are coming to the Olympic Village, and they're being greeted by the Olympic Committee with a gift. Guess what one of them is going to be? Penny has some candles with a company called 1122 Candles or 1122 Candles, whatever it's called. They're going to be in that gift box, and he has a letter written in there for him. It's so friggin' dope, dude.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Man, I love some Santi discourse happening here. We might have a Santi episode. We might have a whole Santi episode.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, get into YouTube because that's where all the action's happening right now.
We're having some
comment section of the YouTube.
This is going awesome. Check it out.
Deep-seated Australian hate towards the Spanish. I don't get it.
It's awesome. I didn't know this was something we needed to be in on. It's great. But you catch that show. There was some good commercials just there. You saw Uncle Buck. You saw Anthony Sane. Both of them have shows. Anthony Sane Show, $2 Sports Show. We got the Grizz 901 show going to be coming back once the season starts. We've got No Bluffing. We got Next Gen. I believe they normally drop today. We got Night Court on Thursdays. Got everything. But back to our show. All that's at bluffcitymedia.co, by the way. I guess I should say that. But back to our show. On Mondays, we like to celebrate, a twofer. Garfield the cat, baby. Garfield the cat. He's hilarious because he's a fat cat who just likes to eat and not do anything. It's hilarious. And he was mean to his owner. But he loves lasagna and he hates Mondays. So on Mondays, we like to talk about the weekends and we talk about the thing we loved and we hated. I can go first. What did I do this weekend? My lasagna was, so it was tax-free weekend. So me and my partner Kyla, we took the kid, we went and we just did a lot of like family stuff. Like we went and got all of his back to school stuff. We went and got some back to school clothes. I got a couple shirts. We went and saw some movies. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine twice.
Okay. Yeah. I don't talk about that.
We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it because I know you haven't
I'm not going to listen to tomorrow's show either.
Yeah,
We're going to have one less viewer.
Don't just pop out. But then what else did we do? We went to the mall. It's just kind of like very just normal, slow things, and watched a crap ton of Olympics. That's something we did too. Like I got up early and would just make my coffee and just watch Olympic. And I was watching skateboarding, even the weird stuff, watching the replays, like skateboarding, surfing, handball, just like feeding it. Watch Simone Biles and our women's team kick butt. Like the Olympics are great. Opening ceremony was weird and awesome. I'm trying to figure out what the little red hats are for frange. The little mascots are red hats with legs and it's really cool. I don't know it's neat. Give me more Olympics all the time. My Monday though. So last night we were supposed to go to the Nashville Zoo. It was free. We had to event because our son, he goes to middle school that's kind of a partnership with the Nashville Zoo. And so they had the whole zoo.
It's a weird partnership to have.
He's an animal. My son is he's just an animal. He just lives at the zoo. It got rained out because it just started literally like piss pouring every 20 minutes. It would rain for like piss pour for 20 minutes and then stop. The entire time it was supposed to happen last night. And that was like the cap of our weekend. We were really looking forward to that. And then it just got rained the F out. And I was pissed. Yeah. Because then not only did it get rained out, but it's humid as all hell out right now. It's awful. So it was just plans were ruined and it was miserable outside. That's my Monday. How about you?
Sounds like a good weekend.
Good weekend.
I mean, I love easy weekends. Even if you're not just sitting in your chair. Like this is my chair here. It's my favorite place in the world. Right.
I love that you can touch it.
Yeah. Well, I got to be close at all times. That sounds like a good weekend. I hate that the zoo didn't work out, although I am intrigued at what kind of partnership a middle school or a elementary school, I don't know how old your son is, but has with the zoo.
I saw a wild wolf on outside campus once, and I told the secretary, I was like, I don't know if you know, but there's like a wolf out there. And she goes, oh yeah, he's out there a lot. And I was just like, what are you talking about? There's a wolf.
That's Barney.
It's really weird.
But yeah, so mine, we went on a final trip. The month of July for the Game family has just been nothing but miles in the van, And so we capped it off. I've got an aunt that lives in East Tennessee. She lives in Maryville, right outside of Knoxville.
Yeah, my neck.
They are they've got a pool. They live in a nice neighborhood with a pool, and she loves to cook. So I don't know if you've ever been to like an all-inclusive resort or not. Have you?
No,
I haven't either. It's always been a dream of mine to just fly to Jamaica to a sandals resort, and just be catered on hand and foot.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when we go and see my Aunt Mitzi. She loves to cook. Her love language, if you're into love language, is just like servitude. Like she just wants to take care of you.
Yes.
And so we had our children, and we like to go up there like one weekend a summer, and so it just happened to be this is the only weekend we had open between her schedule and our schedule. And so we just went to Maryville, and for 2 days we didn't leave the pool, and she just cooked for us. And it was great.
Oh, man.
The lasagna
oh no
is enduring a 6-hour car ride with a 5-month-old. Very challenging on the way back. because it was just like constantly like, all right, somebody shut that baby up. Where I joked with my wife one time and she didn't appreciate it at all.
She was not a fan. Man, in my head, I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. You said 6-hour drives. I was like, what are you talking about, man? It's
No,
like 2.5.
right.
And I was like, oh, you don't live where I live.
No, it's like 3 to you guys.
Yeah.
To Maryville. Or it's like 6 for us. And
that's just long enough to be very annoying.
yeah, and so I made the joke to my wife and she didn't appreciate it. She said, "What are we going to do about him?" And I just picked up my phone. I was like, "I'm looking up the closest fire department."
No, that's a good idea. You just put him in a basket. Legally, I think they have to take him at that point.
Yeah. So, it was a great weekend. It is challenging making a 6-hour drive with a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. Especially when you're making that drive in the middle of the day. Like,
I wish
it's
you had
not
like
nap time at all.
One of those mirrors, like a limousine. You can just be like, bzzz.
Oh yeah, just yeah. I talked to a colleague of mine came to see me trying to sell me some stuff at work. That's unrelated.
Mhm.
He's got 11 kids.
Good.
He said, no kidding, he had bought a limousine at one point, and he said it was great, except for the fact it was almost impossible to get car seats in there.
Oh yeah.
I was
You
like,
imagine
oh,
the limo just like you open it up and it's just lined with car seats.
yeah.
God,
So
11 kids. Do you think you know what causes that?
well, I think a lot of them were adoptions.
Oh, that
So,
makes now I feel like an asshole.
no, I mean, he didn't intend on it, but I can kind of sympathize with our situation a little bit. But it's like you adopt 2, and then the mother keeps having children, and it's like, okay,
Let's
so,
calm down.
yeah, do you keep the kids together, or you finally just like, nope, sorry, that brother and sister goes over.
Split them. It's like, hey, I know there's a brother 10 in one place for the Seahawks, another one plays for someone else. Just do that. Just do that. That's gonna do it for our show. I don't know their names. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Uncle Buck. I appreciate you, brother. I will see you Wednesday. Hopefully, I will see everybody else tomorrow morning.
No
Jay
Deadpool
Thompson
talk.
is on right now. What?
You've got to give a spoiler alert before you talk Deadpool, okay?
But tomorrow, during the break, I will give a spoiler alert because I know Rusty's seen it. We will give a spoiler alert so no one gets anything ruined because I've seen it twice and I just want to talk about it. So there will be a spoiler alert. Everybody can relax. I won't ruin it. I'm not going to ruin your Monday either. Everybody have a great one. If I can leave you with just 2 things today, remember, just remember to be a little weird, and remember to smile. Everybody have a great day.